This year's Man-Child art. Just wanted to jump on and record a little bit today. This is my new original character. Um, I haven't come up with a name for him yet, but I might end up doing that before the day is over. Um, so my original inspiration on this guy was playing um, Skyrim, and after so long, I figured, hey, why not make you know a character like that, and let's just see what I could come up with. So I've got a little bit storyline that I'm still trying to work out, but mainly I had an image in my head that I knew I wanted to work on. So today, that is what I'm doing, is working on that that image in my head, who I had envisioned as being. And so yeah, I don't have too much commentary that I know of yet. Um, I'm recording the audio as I record the videos, so it's just kind of a first take, dry run scenario. And I'm sure this design is subject to change as I continue on with it, but this is where it's uh, at currently. Here I had the skeletal layer that I'm not even using anymore, but I still keep the previous tabs in. Still getting used to the software. I'm not too experienced with it because it's got a new update that I haven't done anything with yet. So there is an animation package that I paid for that I want to try. I need to learn how to use it first, and that's first and foremost. Um, my next big goal is figuring out the animation side. But drawing style, even though it is a more expensive software, I do really enjoy it. The tablet I'm using is a Huion. I don't remember the specific model, but it's a non-display tablet. So I'm just following along on my HP laptop touchscreen, which makes moving around easier. And I really like the idea of having these three scars up on the side of his head. I don't know why. I'm sure I can work out some kind of fight scene for that if I turn this into a comic. I'm thinking right off the bat that he's a huntsman. He's fighting a bear or a wolf or something along those lines. I'm not sure how mystical, fantastic I'm looking to make this character, but I do like the medieval vibe. Nice thing about it, layers, is you can always go back and erase, but I try and stay within the lines so I don't have to erase as much. Do that over again. And facially, I tend to add way too much detail, at least in my opinion. Made the character look a little older than I was originally intended. Nice thing with this Huion tablet is it does have side controls, which most of them come equipped with from what I've seen online. So I can zoom out and change the brush size as much as I need to. I will say I don't like the backspace on the shortcut, but it is something that I can work with. I had a character that I drew up a while back, and I've posted about it on my Facebook and Instagram. I had a pretty solid storyline going for him. Um, I'm just a very poor writer. I have a lot of uh, issues when it comes to spelling and grammar that I still struggle with today, but I've always liked drawing. And so that I had an idea to make these two characters in the same comic universe, so to speak, that barely exists in my head. Um, I figured it would be a cool crossover because I haven't really put a time frame on my other character. He's my other character's name is Helos, and with that whole storyline, basically he was a half breed between a human and an alien that lived on the face of the sun. And in this story I had come up with called Day and Night, um, there were actual aliens that lived on the surface of the moon and the sun, and they were so well hidden from humans that they've stayed safe this whole time. Um, the dark side of the moon, they always hated the sun people. And one day when the main character Helos was visiting his earthly mother, um, the dark side of the moon um, attacked the surface of the sun and destroyed most of his kingdom and the rest of his family on the sun. And I don't know. I really want to get back to that storyline, but I have a really tough time with writing a consistent story because you know I get sidetracked. I think of new ideas and then I want to work on those immediately. And so I had thought it would be cool to introduce these two characters and just see what they could do towards one another. And I've found from watching other YouTube videos of other artists, I have a very unique approach to shading, at least in my opinion. I guess everybody's style is going to be different right off the bat, but I prefer adding another layer in most cases and just playing around with the light sources. And I am in the process of setting up a Twitch streaming platform. I just haven't quite figured everything out with that. This software was free to try, and it doesn't, have the added pressure of being live. Um, it can, and it's something I want to work up to. I just haven't yet. And these are all spots that in my head I want to add shadow to, but I'll probably work myself out of at some point during this process. Or I'll think of a different way to do it, completely erase and go right back. And like I showed in my first video, small slideshow, can't really call it video, but my first posting on YouTube shows various captures, pictures of my initial process for this character, which started on paper. And he originally had a sword, but my Skyrim character, I've always played better with a two-handed war axe. So I kind of gave him something along those lines. Excuse me. In school, I always enjoyed art class. I actually pointed out of my last couple years in high school because all the topics they had claimed they were going to teach in public art school, the art instructor had um, told me I had already mastered on my own, which I don't know if I'd go as far as mastering, but those were her words. And so once I got to high school, I was pretty much allowed to just do my own art projects as long as they fell in line with the curriculum, and I could submit them in for review and get into the art show from home, which was really nice. It gave me a free period to study some other subjects. This nose, I don't know if I like how it came out or not, because I'm always like right here. I didn't have this mapped out, but after laying down some color, I feel like both sides should have it. I don't know. Leave a comment if the nose was fine how it looked beforehand. Because one thing that I didn't ever really pick up in art class, just I never understood the concept, was the figure drawing. I was always better and more inclined to just putting the pen to paper and seeing what happened, which in the long run probably stunted me in some ways because now I'm going back and watching YouTube tutorials on how to do stuff like that because I never really paid attention to it in art class. So maybe I should have stayed in for the last couple of years. Who knows? But here I am now, just having fun. I've always been able to, well, not been able to, but I've always been called the human copy machine. When I was younger, I'd pause the TV or the DVD, whatever I was watching at the time, and I'd just draw the character I seen in front of me, whether it was a cartoon or real life, and that's more so where I learned proportioning was just, people look this way, so they should continue to look that way. Never really put too much more thought behind it. So then talking to another artist friend of mine, he didn't quite understand how I would just see this in my head and draw this, which I've always had trouble creating my own characters, so that's why I'm really happy with how this guy's turning out so far. This is the first I haven't really used too many references. I used a reference for the blade, just a brief one for the cutouts. I felt like it needed something. I just didn't know where to put them. And then I used a reference for the beard. Just looking online at different beard styles. I mean, I added my own twist. I didn't put too much detail in the beard right now, but once I do, you'll be able to see the clear difference when I'm done with it. I don't know if I want to leave this guy with white hair, because I kind of do like the white haired look, but it does make him look much older than I wanted to. I'll go ahead and try more reddish brown. And I put this layer under the skin tone layer just so I don't have to worry as much about what I have to erase. Which, I mean, erasing's not the end of the world. I do it quite frequently. But it just, I don't know. Once I started doing digital art and learned about layers, this is kind of the way I've been doing it ever since. And every now and then my software will buffer and load like that, which can get annoying if you're really into a project, but it's also just something that happens with technology. It's a trade-off to traditional art versus digital. But character style, I definitely I definitely know I want this guy to be, the typical standoff protector. Because I mean, he's gonna have a past. Look at this dude. He's seen some stuff. I think it'd be, granted, it's getting a little overdone, but I can only be so original. Ideally, I usually listen to quite a bit of music when I'm drawing, um, just with YouTube, especially not being a super experienced creator of content. I'm not sure where the line is drawn for music can't listen to during a video. I was never really good with like the bibliographies and book reports in school, and I'm not looking to get sued anytime soon. All right. Mustache wise, I mean, it's fairly fairly close to my own. Uh, or parts of it at least. I had like a mental breakdown the other day and shaved my beard after an entire year. Um, not sure anymore why I did that. It was kind of a heat of the moment thing. I don't know if I was trying to punish myself or if I finally just broke down and listened to everybody around me. Not real sure, but I definitely miss it, and it's probably most likely going to be growing back out here soon. But it's definitely going to take a minute. It wasn't the best beard. I have a I have a lot of new knowledge on beard grooming and tips on, especially for beginner beards, that I can implement now if I decide to grow it back out. I will say having a beard is a little more expensive than I care to admit. Um, Being unemployed right now, it's not exactly something I have the money to do properly anyhow. There's that, so I gotta be more careful on the edge here since it's all in the same layer. So if you've made it this far and you are watching this, feel free to comment any suggestions or tips on the character. Anything you liked, anything you'd like to see in future videos. I do enjoy drawing other people's characters just as well. Or if you have a picture of yourself that you really like and you want to see a portrait done of yourself, I can always do that. You can leave a comment, find me on Facebook or Instagram under manchild_art for Instagram and just manchildart, 2 words, on Facebook. And if you want a portrait done, we can discuss it on there at that time. Because I do draw quite often. I just don't always record or post about it. Which, getting more used to YouTube or Twitch in the long run will help, and I will be drawing more. At least that's the goal. Because I've been proud of a couple pieces of work I've done, but this being an original character, being my own design, just hits home a little more, you know? Because once again, drawing other people's characters, I can't take full credit because it's not my design, but it is my take on someone else's design. Which I'm sure there's comic book artists out today that grew up reading and watching other people's carnations of, Batman, Superman, whichever superhero, and drawing it as a kid and growing up and making it as an artist. So good for them, people. Meanwhile, I'm just getting started here on YouTube, so we'll see exactly where this takes me. Not expecting it to take me super far, but I do want to have fun with it. And there's that scraping again. This tablet has been extremely fun using, but it does tend to I don't know, work against me with this stylus. I'm not a fan of how noisy it can be, but I also know it can be much worse. Didn't want to do that. Anyhow, this here has been just some basic colors laid down. I'm sure it's all subject to change here soon. I tend to nitpick the living daylights out of my own work. I don't know if it's a good habit or a bad one, but it's one I have. I've had my fair share of scars here, needing stitches. Couple funny stories, couple tragic ones, but that's all for another time with a larger glass of whiskey than I currently have. But yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty good baby step to this here kitchen. I'm going to try and pace myself on this and not draw it all off screen. I will do some minor touches off screen, maybe, I don't know. But I am done talking to myself for the time being, so we'll probably save it there. So if you watched the video, you like it, you like the character design, drop a comment, maybe leave a name suggestion, because I have no clue what I'm going to call this guy yet. Maybe that'll develop with the story. Anyhow, oh, can't leave yet. Yeah, I'm on the right layer. I forgot to add the shadow to the ears. I had seen it earlier, didn't say anything to myself, figured I'd forget it again, and I almost did. Happens a lot, actually. There we go. Save that again. That looks better. And then I'm going to go in much further detail with the beard, mustache, and hair in another video, just not this one. So, anyhow, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I will see you around. Thanks for watching.